the previous few ahadith, or amongst the discussion of the previous few ahadith, we find numerous encouragements or wasaya, advices of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to his companions around him, praising them and encouraging them to do certain actions. So he mentioned, or the companions narrate, or they mentioned, Awsani Khalili, or Awsani Habibi, or Awsani Habibi, that my beloved gave me this advice, Khalili, my beloved friend, my close friend. When we, Abu Huraira speaking, Abu Dhar, about certain advices that he gave them, or certain actions to carry out inside their lives, and they never abandoned them and they never left them. And likewise he gave certain single companions certain teachings. He said Mu'adh bin Jabal to the people of Yemen to go and preach them the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they accept that, then tell them about the prayer, then tell them about az-zakah. The Prophet alayhi salatu salam, bayna targhibi wa tarhib, always encouraging his followers, encouraging his companions, his friends, and likewise discouraging them from certain things or telling them to stay away from certain things for their own benefit. And thus we find that sometimes he speaks about certain companions, about their manaqib, about their fada'il, about their virtues. And many times we mention that we living inside the West, whereby we're surrounded by so-called icons and role models, and a celebrity culture, that you find that some Muslims begin to look at people around them and to take them as role models. It is incumbent upon the Muslim to look at real role models. Look at their lives, Hayatus Sahaba, lives of the companions, to see that where are we from them. Thus we find that the Prophet ﷺ mentions in Hadith al-Bukhari, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. The best generation, the best people will be my generation, my people, the people around me, the followers around me at the moment. They're going to be the best individuals. And that is the best, the benchmark for the believer. وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقِ الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. Inside Surah An-Nisa, verse 100, that we find, whoever contends with the messenger after the evidences, the guidance has been shown to that individual, وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and follows a path other than the way of the believers. مَنِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ? Who are the believing individuals? By consensus, is none other than as-Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een. Whoever contends with the message, goes away from the path of the believers, نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى, leave him, that person, in the path that they follow. وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. And the final abode, the ending of the individual, will be placed inside Jahannam. What an evil refuge, what an evil abodement it will be for those individuals who contend against the Prophet ﷺ, go against his companions. And as we mentioned, he praised them on so many different occasions, that each single companion can you find manaqib, virtues about each companion, about them. فَقَالَ لِأَشَجِّ عَبْدِ الْقَيْسِ. What concerns us today, he said to Ashaj Abdul Qais, he said to this individual, إِنَّ فِيكَ خَصْلَتَيْنِ يُحِبُّهُمُ اللَّهُ الْحِلْمُ وَالْأَنَاتُ. You have two characteristics, two traits that you have, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves these two characteristics about you. Al-hilmu, forbearance, patience, wal-anatu, and deliberation, pondering and reflecting. These are the two traits that you have, which have been bestowed upon you. Naqif in the Ashaj Abdul Qais. Who is the tribe of Abdul Qais? That's once again, as you read about the life of the Sahaba, you have to couple that with reading about as-seerah. You cannot read about Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ unless you understand it in its context. The context of the Sunnah is placed inside the seerah. Because some of us, we just read the Sunnah and then we try to apply it at times. We don't have al-hilm, we don't have al-anatu, we don't have forbearance, we don't have understanding, we don't have wisdom. We sometimes just see things as black and white and we begin to apply it in the society around us. And this is where you find the role of the seerah comes into play. That you see that even just like many of us, we may get frustrated with certain things or see certain things. That why don't a person say this? Why don't people say this? Why don't people respond with this? Why don't people do this? The response lies in the seerah. That people of ulul ilmi wal basira, people of hikmah, wisdom and understanding, foresighters, can see certain things that we will never understand inside our lives. Because al-hikmah, wisdom, is dalatul mu'min. Wisdom is the lost property of the believer, and has every right to claim it when they find that wisdom. وَالْحِكْمَةَ قَدْ فُسِّرَ أَنَّ وَضْعُ الشَّيْءِ فِي مَكَانِهِ. Wisdom is to place something in the right place, at the right time. To know what to say at the right time and to do the right action at the right time. وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Whoever's been given wisdom, فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. حَظٌ وَافِرٌ. That person has been given immense goodness, enrichment, immense understanding. Thus you find that a person can be a faqih, can be Islamic jurist and understand the Islamic law. Amma tatbiquhu, sometimes to implement it, not to default or to depraise any faqih. That's what ulama have discussed about fuqaha. That there are certain gradings who go beyond the average individual who just has an understanding of the sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is the ability to apply it. The ability to see what is applicable to the people. كلموا الناس على قدر عقولهم. ما روي إلى Imam Ali radiallahu anhu was narrated about him that he made this statement. Speak to people according to their intellect, upon their understanding. Encourage them according to their understanding, upon their bi'ah, upon the environment, what concerns them. The tribe of Abdul Qais, in a hadith inside Kitab al-Iman. And as we mentioned that if the least that we could do inside our lives, ala aqal shay, read Kitab al-Iman of Imam Muslim. And in there you'll find what the journey, what is halawatul iman, arkanul Islam, arkanul iman. What is the sweetness of iman? What is the journey of iman? What is iman? What is my belief? This is a question that we need to ask ourselves day in and day out. That the average Muslim, may Allah forbid, is sometimes lost. They don't know what belief is. And as you find that the daily routine of the Prophet ﷺ is always advising companions about iman. Al-imanu billah. Belief with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does it entail? Because وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. We sent amongst every single nation a people, a messenger, with one call, أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ, to worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to avoid any false deities. Anything that is worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَهُوَ طَاغُوتٌ. Anything worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-mal, wal-jah, wal-kursi, wal-watan, wal-balad, wal-ahl, wal-mal, al-shajara, hajara, qabr, awliya. Anything that a person believes some element of tawakkul or reliance or protection or help or encouragement. كل هذه أنواع الشرك بالله سبحانه وتعالى. All of this is shirk بالله سبحانه وتعالى. إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء. أن يشرك قد فسر الشرك الصغير أو كبير. Any form of shirk, any element of shirk will not be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though a more accurate statement is that is which is the major shirk. أن تجعل لله ندا وهو خلقك. You associate a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one that created you. But some ulama mention to show the severity that even in ibadat, if a person does it actually for the sake of people, فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ بِاللَّهِ. Some ulama mention that even if a person begins to show off inside their ibadah, لِلنَّاسِ, then a person is committing shirk. أَلَا لِلَّهِ دِينُ الْخَالِصِ. Because deen is sincerely only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةِ وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت أنا أول المسلمين قل إن الصلاة كل الصلاة من البداية إلى النهاية لله سبحانه وتعالى. My sacrifice, my living, my dying, my breathing, everything about me is all committed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I associate no partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هذا هو الإسلام, هذا هو رأس الإسلام. أما المجاملة, as for the beautiful things that we find of people say this is good and that is good, ففيه خير, قد يكون فيه خير. There could be goodness inside that. But the essence of the message of a Muslim is a message of tawhid, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To instill that within people, to remind people about the whole purpose. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create the jinn and the human being. For what purpose? On the face of this earth, on this planet, لِيُوَحِّدُ اللَّهِ, to single out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only for worship. That's the intent of us being placed upon this earth. The rest is all secondary, all tertiary. It doesn't mean much, because these things, they can come and go. But what counts for the human being is about their message and what they deliver to the people. And that's when the tribe of Abdul Qais, they came to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Man al-qawm, man al-wafdu. So he inquired about them. Who are these people of Abdul Qais? Who are these people? قالوا ربيعة. We are from the tribe, the people of Rabi'ah. So the Prophet ﷺ, لكي يكون تعرف عليهم, so he can begin to understand them, who these people are. فقال فمرحبا بقوم غير خزايا ولا ندامة. Welcome للقوم أو للوفد. Welcome to the people, welcome to the delegates. As we mentioned, read about the seerah, how towards the end of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, you see how many tribes, how many people enter into the fold of Islam. This is what we're trying to contextualize. The journey of Islam, the patience, the forbearance, the deliberation of the Prophet ﷺ, that at the end, look at the end result of what begins to take place. That some companions couldn't seem to understand that at that moment in time. Just like many of us, we can't seem to understand the world at the moment, but what the end result will be by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَمْرَهُمْ بِأَرْبَعَةٍ وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. So the Prophet ﷺ, he gave them 4 things to stick to and 4 things to avoid. But before that, they mentioned that we can only come to you because the tribe of Mudar, who begin to attack us when we try to come towards Medina. So we can only come in the month, in the 4 months, with the sacred month whereby warfare is forbidden. If not, they will attack us. The kuffar will attack us. So we can only come in this moment in time. So give us some advice we could take back to our people. We could tell them what to do. فَأَمَرَهُمْ بِأَرْبَعٍ وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. So he gave them 4 commandments and he gave them 4 prohibitions. فَأَمَرَهُمْ بِإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. He gave them firstly the commandment of believing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ثُمَّ فُسِّرَ ذَلِكَ. Then it was described what is the iman billah. To establish the prayer, to give the zakah, and to fast the month of Ramadan. Hajj is not mentioned. Ulama begin to discuss because of delegation what year that they came in. But here we find ulama of hadith mention, he gave them a command about imanu billah. Because this is where some Muslims, they begin to deviate. They think mujarrad al-qawl, person just says that annani u'minu billah, just says the statement, I believe in Allah, فَهَذَا هُوَ الْإِسْلَامُ وَهَذَا هُوَ الْإِيمَانِ. This is deviancy. This is corruption. This is what leads to stagnation. Because the Prophet ﷺ, according to his own terminology, his own wording, he explained what is al-iman billah. He said to them, إِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِيتَاءَ الزَّكَاةِ. To establish the prayer. If you really believe, you establish the prayer. You can't say, I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you don't pray. And thus you find that in general, مَا نُطَبِّقَ عَلَىٰ أَحَدٍ. We don't apply it to anyone, but just to, if you can use such words, just to scare us. And to let us know. الَّذِي لَا يُصَلِّي فَهُوَ كَافِرٌ. Person who doesn't pray, فَهُوَ كَافِرٌ, is a disbeliever. And you find nothing more of a consensus amongst the Sahaba of a person being a disbeliever except for upon tarkus salah. except for a person leaving the prayer. So if Iman is just, I believe in Allah, as many average Muslims, they may say, I just believe in Allah, and they don't understand the importance of as-salah, we're not applying it upon anyone, and no one should dare go and apply it upon another Muslim. No one should take these words and say to another Muslim, أَنَّكَ مَا تُصَلِّي فَأَنَّكَ كَافِرٌ. No one should go to say to another Muslim, because you don't pray, you're kafir. La, abadan. وَذَكِّرُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. Remind them about the days of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remind them to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Encourage them. It's not for us to apply rules and regulations upon al-awam, upon the masses of people, and to classify them as disbelievers. And likewise we find وَصَوْمُ رَمَضَانُ وَأَن تُؤَدُّوا خُمُسًا مِنَ الْمَغْنَمِ. And you give 1/5 of the booty that you take from captivity, from warfare. وَنَهَاهُمْ عَنْ أَرْبَعٍ. And then he forbade them from 4 things. And الدُّبَّاءِ الْحَنْتَمُ النَّقِيرُ وَالْمُقَيَّرُ. All these are awani of al-khamr. All these are utensils of alcohol, liquor, that the Arabs that they were known for. فَقَدْ سُئِلَ أَنْ تَعْرِفْ مَا هُوَ النَّقِيرُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Do you know what al-naqir is? قال نعم. Al-naqir is a hollow palm tree, whereby they make a hole and they place the dates inside, they let it ferment, and then it becomes a drink, an alcoholic drink, and then they drink it in a state of drunkenness, and one of them even hits one of their own relatives. فَأَحَدَ الْقَوْمِ فَقَدْ غَطَّى نَفْسَهُ. One of them, he began to conceal himself. Felt shy, because as if the Prophet ﷺ is speaking about me. That's what Ba'du قال أن أشج بمعنى a person who's wounded, who's got marks on their face, on their body. And as you see with drunken people in a state of drunkenness, stumbling and falling and bruising and battering themselves, visible upon their faces. So the Prophet ﷺ is warning them to stay away from these filthy substances. فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Stay away from it. So the Quran is quite unique. Quran is at Surah Al-Ma'idah, 5th chapter, verse number 90. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّمَا الْخَمْرُ وَالْمَيْسِرُ وَالْأَنْصَابُ وَالْأَزْلَامُ رِجْسٌ مِّنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَنْ يُوقِعَ بَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ فِي الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ وَيَصُدُّكُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَعَنِ الصَّلَاةِ فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُنْتَهُونَ. There is no stronger passages inside the Quran of making something haram. No stronger passage inside the Quran that Allah warns. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you believe. Innamal khamru. Indeed, inside intoxicants. Al-khamr is not just alcohol. It's not alcohol that some Muslims they believe it's alcohol. Al-khamru huwa ma ghaba al-aql. Ma yughatti al-aql. Al-khamr is anything that clouds the mind. Anything that intoxicates your mind, فَهُوَ حَرَامٌ فَهُوَ خَمْرٌ. Drugs, alcohol, shisha, smoking, anything that gives you. People may say, well, these intoxicants, they have to be taken in large amounts at times. Hadith inside Sahih Muslim. مَا أَسْكَرَ كَثِيرُهُ فَقَلِيلُهُ حَرَامٌ. Whatever intoxicates you in large amounts is forbidden in small amounts. You know, we Muslims, may Allah forbid, kal Yahud, ahyanan. We're like Jews, try to find crevices, try to find excuses. But I don't really take these substances and lose my mindset. But that's not what the Sharia is based upon. The Sharia is based upon maqasid, intent of preservation. When something is haram, فَبَيْعُهُ وَشْرَاعُهُ وَثَمْنُهُ كُلُّ haram. When something becomes haram in the Sharia, everything linked around it by default also becomes haram. So a person can't say, well, I don't take these substances, but I serve alcohol inside my restaurant, or I sell shisha, but I don't take it, or I sell cigarettes, but I don't take it, I sell pork, but I don't eat it. فَأَيُّ دِينَ هَذَا? That's not deen of قال الله وقال الرسول. That's not the deen of the Prophet ﷺ. Hadith in Sahih Muslim. Allah has cursed 10 individuals linked with alcohol. Those who pluck the grapes, those who squash the grapes, those who serve it, those who transport it, those who sit on the table, those who take the wealth, everything around it, all cursed. وَالْكَلِمَةُ اللَّعْنُ شَدِيدٌ فِي الْقُرْآنِ وَالسُّنَّةِ. When the Quran speaks about la'na, curse, person shouldn't take it trivial. Because that's why some of us may be thinking, why is my life not blessed? Because some of us, may Allah forbid, maybe living under the curse of Allah. We're cursed by Allah. And we're trying to find an avenue thinking that, what do I do? That's what some Muslims say. What do I do wrong in my life? I don't harm anyone. I don't trouble anyone. I don't do anything wrong. That's what the Western world says, that I drink, I don't harm anyone. I don't get drunk and persecute anyone or do anything wrong. So what's wrong with it? This is all al-aql, the rationale, al-mantiq. Deen isn't based upon rationale and mantiq and logic of what people around you think, because we can see what the world around us thinks at the moment, don't we? We can see what the world around us thinks. That 2 fathers is perfectly acceptable, 2 mothers is totally acceptable. حتى مع الحيوانات في بعض البلدان. To have a relationship with animals is totally acceptable in some Western countries. So where do we draw the line? My intellect tells me that this is what I need to do. Your intellect tells you this is what you need to do. Who will be the judge? أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقْ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. The judge is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقْ. Allah knows what He's created. He's most subtle, the most aware subhanahu wa ta'ala. Life doesn't revolve around emotional feelings. People today think this is halal, tomorrow they make it haram. Today is haram, tomorrow they make it halal. They do whatever they want to do, as they please, as they choose. This is what the concept of hurriya, freedom is. That's what freedom is. Do whatever you want inside your life. No authority, no questioning, no hisab, no accountability. Anta hur. How can that be? That we Muslims begin to fall prey to this. We are free according to the laws of the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how free we are. That's how free we are between the right and the left. That's it. لأن الدنيا سجن المؤمن وجنة الكافر. This world is a prison for the believer. وجنة الكافر. الحديث ما رواه إمام مسلم في صحيح. This world is a prison for a believer. Paradise for the disbeliever. Do whatever they want to do. Enjoy themselves. Do whatever they want to do. It's for them. Don't condense your life that my life, this is the all end of my life. والرسول عليه السلام ماذا ترك من هذا الدنيا? Once again, read through his seerah. What did he leave? A broken utensil, a mantle, a cloak, a broken cup, few belongings. هذا خير البشر, the best of creation. الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. What did he leave behind? But what concerned him? الصلاة الصلاة وما ملكت أيمانكم. Telling his companions again and again, the prayer, and whatever the right hand possesses. Thus we find that staying away from these abominations, that he knew the culture of these people, what they're intoxicated with, what they were involved in, to stay away from it. إِنَّ فِيكَ خَصْلَتَيْنِ. Then inside the hadith it mentioned that he then spoke to Shaykh Abdul Qais and said, there are 2 characteristics within you that Allah loves. And this is a discussion in itself. What does Allah love, subhanahu wa ta'ala? And what does Allah dislike? That's a science in itself for us Muslims to go and study. To go and study every single ayah inside the Quran where Allah mentions that He loves such and such action. And to focus upon that. And Allah says that stay away from dislike certain actions. Person needs to stay away from that. Shaykh Abdul Qais says to the Prophet ﷺ that these characteristics of mine, are they natural innate characteristics? Are they qadim? Are they old? Or are they something that I've acquired with the people around me? Because characteristics can be acquired by living with the people. And some characteristics Allah places within the individual. That's when Adam has been created from various forms of turab. Various narrations that Ibn Kathir mentions. Inside the Qasas al-Anbiya. That Jibreel went and collected all types of earth and brought it together. That's why you find people of different colors, different jibillah, different formats, different mindsets, different aspects they have. So that's you find that Shaykh Abdul Qais, is this something which is within me? So the Prophet praised him and said, this is something Allah's placed within you naturally. And he rejoices about this. That this is something naturally within me, that I have al-hilm wal-anatu. Forbearance and deliberation that I have inside my life. And that's what concerns to acquire that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. And remember, when Allah loves you, then you find that the answer is that the people will love you. This is our problem at the moment. We seek the love of the people at the expense of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You seek the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the people will in general, they will accept you. Obviously there will always be a battle, if you can use such words, will remain there. Bain al-kufri wal-imani will remain there. But in general that you find, the goodness will prevail. Because of person's devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-hilmu wal-anatu. Forbearance and deliberation. وفسر أن الحلم هو Imam Nawawi يقول هو الأقل. Al-hilm, forbearance, is the rational, the intellect, to be using the mind in the right way, in the judgment. وَالْأَنَاتُ هُوَ التَّثَبُّتُ وَتَرْكُ الْعَجَلَةِ, is to be steadfast, resolute, committed, and not to be hasty inside your life. That's what a Muslim is. These are the characteristics. في بعض الروايات قيل الحلم والحياء, to be forbearance, full of forbearance, and modesty, shame. And another topic in itself that many of our Muslims and Muslim sisters have lost. Al-haya'u min al-imani. Modesty is from imani lirijali wa lin-nisa'i, for men and women, to be modest. That's the way of the believer. Likewise, you find this forbearance, deliberation, clemency, to be calm and collective. The Quran describes the human being, فَبَشَّرْنَاهُ بِغُلَامٍ حَلِيمٍ. Speaking about Ibrahim alayhi salam, we gave him the glad tidings of forbearing child. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعُ السَّعْيَ قَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ إِنِّي أَرَى فِي الْمَنَامِ أَنِّي أَذْبَحُكَ. Then his son says, Ibrahim alayhi salam is forbearance, full of forbearance, patience, sabr, understanding. He sees a ru'ya, وَرُؤْيَةُ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ وَحْيٌ, sees a dream, that I have to sacrifice my own son. Read the seerah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. Allah took Ibrahim as a Khalil. After how many years? He rejoices to come back and see his son. He sees inside a dream he has to sacrifice his own son. Ibrahim alayhi salam is full of forbearance, returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doesn't begin to question the rules and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Ibrahim la'alimun awwa'un munib. Ibrahim is full of forbearance, one who's repentant, one who's clear and resolute and committed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thus we find to be calm and collective, not to be hasty and to rush, which unfortunately is the trait, because we find that the human being خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Man has been created in a state of hastiness. Man will always be hasty in general, that we find. سَأُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِي فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. Quran ajib. Quran is strange. Lughatul Quran is strange. It mesmerizes the heart and the mind for a person who understands the Quran. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Man is always going to be hasty. But I'm going to show you my signs. Show you the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. Don't hasten. Don't rush. That's the 5th chapter of the Quran. أَتَى أَمْرُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُوهُ. أَتَى أَمْرُ اللَّهِ وَقَدْ فُسِّرَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ مَا هُوَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ. أَتَى أَمْرُ اللَّهِ صيغة الماضي. Allah doesn't speak about the last day is going to come. يخاطب في الماضي. أتى أمر الله فلا تستعجلوه. The end has been destined. كل من عليها فان. Everything will perish. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every soul will taste death. The last day will come. There's no nikosh about that. فلا تستعجلوه. Don't hasten it, but thinking you can bring it earlier. وقد فسر أتى أمر الله. Al-awamir, commandments, prohibitions, injunctions, regulations, the decree of Allah. You cannot hasten it, change that which Allah is destined to take place on this earth. That's why person says, وَلَوْ فَعَلْتُ كَذَا وَكَذَا. Person says, if only I had done this and that. لَوْ يَفْتَحُ الْبَابُ الشَّيْطَانِ. If only I had done this, opens up the door of the devil. Because a person is no longer radin. Person no longer happy, content with the decree of Allah. He's trying to argue with Allah. Why is this happening? Why did this happen? Why should it happen? Why me? Why not someone else? And the strange thing is, this is many of us. Average Muslims, many of us, all of us. Lack of iman, lack of conviction about the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضعيفا. Another place in the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, Allah mentions man has been created in a state of weakness. Man is going to be weak. And some ulama tafsir have mentioned another tafsir of being da'if. Sahibu shahwa, being of lust and desires. That his lust and desires will overcome him. This is how accurate the Quran is about the human being. Man is in a state of weakness. And any element of lust and desires, some Muslims, may Allah forbid, a few of them may give up their faith. There's a person to be rasikh fil ilm, rasikh inside their iman, in the conviction. You find that a person, حتى كان أحد أشخاص كان مؤذن. One of the person used to be mu'adhin, used to give the adhan. وأيام السابقة, days of the past, that you find that the buildings were not like the buildings that are concealed. So when he raised and give the adhan, he could see into the buyutuna, see into the houses of the people. Look at shaitan. فَمَرَّ كَانَ يُؤَذِّن, was giving the adhan, and he saw a woman. And her beauty attracted him. And either he completed the adhan or he stopped the adhan, he went and he walked over to this woman. And he said that I want to marry you. She said that, don't you know who I am? She said that I am the daughter of the father, the Bab of the Kanisa. I am the daughter of the priest of the church. The father comes, you want to marry my daughter? To Nasr. You want to marry my daughter? Then become a Christian. He became a Christian and he married the woman. Left his faith. You know, sometimes these stories may sound far away, but there is an element of truth. That a person doesn't preserve their iman, doesn't be worried about their faith and protect themselves. A small element can derail the person, take them away from iman to kufr, may Allah forbid. And thus we find a person should be controlling their desires and their lusts. And this verse is trying to highlight. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. Another place is at Surah Al-Isra. Surah Bani Israel, full of commandments after commandments. The insan is going to be ajulan, is going to be hasty once again. The first part of this verse mentions وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاءُ بِالْخَيْرِ. That a human being calls, just like he makes dua for goodness, he makes dua for bad things. What does that mean? Al-istijal fi dua. Person becomes hasty and then he da'ut wa da'ut wa da'ut. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and no response was given to me. Because some of us, not some of us, actually all of us, or none of us, understand the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because sometimes I sit in the light subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes Allah wants to continuously hear the voice of the individual. That's why look at Yunus alayhi salam. إِذْ نَادَى فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنْتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنْتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. أعظم الدعاء الاعتراف بالذنوب، الرجوع إلى الله. You are the only one that forgives, that pardons. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. We responded to him, وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ. We took him out of his calamities, hardships. And now what concerns us? Look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَطِيفٌ بِعِبَادِهِ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And likewise, we will rescue the believers. وقولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروا انه الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين واصلي واسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه ومن تمسك بسنته الى يوم الدين. اما بعد. خلق الانسان من عجل. The person has been created in a state of hastiness. Just a hastiness in dua that we find, or in our judgments that we find, judgments regarding information and never al-akhbar, news, information that comes to us. Look how the average Muslim that we find that we don't have the ability to sit back, to deliberate, to comprehend, to understand, and then to make a statement. That's why you find that even just before Kitab al-Iman, the strange thing is that Imam Muslim begins his collection of Sahih Muslim, he begins his collection of speaking about the importance of verifying information, verifying the news. That's what you find, بحسب المرء, sufficient for the individual من الكذب أن يتحدث بكل ما سمع. Sufficient is to classify a person as a liar, to narrate every single thing that they hear. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. فتبينوا. If fusaq, rebellious people come with some news, some information, verify that news. Don't spread that news across inside society that you begin to harm your own self so you don't even perceive it. And as we find that the media outlets at the moment, we can all see the double standards. We can all clearly see the double standards. Allah is showing the double standards. That now this person carries out these atrocities, so for some reason an angelic boy, how does he become demonized? That's the type of headlines that we find. Because in action, I wouldn't be too harsh to say that the media had blood on its hands. Because the media is what infiltrates the mindset of people, encourages people, and these are the demonic people. These are the enemies within us. These are the dangerous elements. So the average person follows that news. And as you find out, as they say, if you lie 100 times, eventually it's classified as a truth. And that's what they want to create inside society. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always purifies society, brings out the result that as we can see today. Not a few thousand, tens of thousands of people. You know, in the islands around, you find that 75% of the people prior to this had never heard of Islam. Never knew what Islam was, what it really means. A land of enjoyment, a land of luxury, a land of good living. But now look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala twists everything around. وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah is the best of planners. That now these people have no excuse. Adhan is given in their midst. Quran is recited amongst them. Islam is told what Islam is. Expressed around them. All around the world. This is what Islam is. And this is what al-hilm, this is what forbearance is and foresightedness is. That some of us, we don't seem to understand, we become hasty. لا يلدغ المؤمن من جحر واحد مرتين. The believer is never stung from the same hole twice. Never makes the same mistake twice. We need to channel our resources in the right way. Place them in the right location to protect the Muslim identity, to protect the Muslim faith. That needs to be channeled within the media. Millions have to be injected. That this is what Islam is, this is what the belief of Islam is. And likewise, our role as an average individual is to carry on the task of giving da'wah to the people around us. An ideal opportunity via characteristics, our behavior and our statements. How can a person gain al-hilm wal-anatu, gain forbearance and deliberation inside their life? Awwalan ad-du'a ila Allah. All these characteristics, first you should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to place that within the individual. Al-dhikr ba'da salah. Make your adhkar ba'da salah in the morning, in the evening. It gives the person comfort, control. You know, it's very strange that some Muslims, they say they want to look at peace and tranquility via murmuring, humming, yoga, peace, this, that and the other. Ajib. Min al-Muslimin, from Muslims. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innu al-qulub. In the dhikr of Allah, the hearts find tranquility. They find tranquility, and some Muslims are searching for peace, finding it in some other's form. Dhikrullah that you find gives you peace in the morning. Making the adhkar makes the person, stabilizes the individual. And adhkar ba'da salah stabilizes the individual. Ma taqul musta'jilan, always rushing, hasty. A one-off opportunity, what we find is a common practice. Every time salah is finished, people just rush out. That's it every day. Kullu salah anta mashghul. Every day you're busy. Leave moments inside your life of solitude, of commitment and contemplation by the tadabbur al-Quran. Read the Quran, to contemplate about the Quran, reflect on the Quran. And likewise, as we mentioned, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in secrecy. And likewise, seek advice from honest and trustworthy Muslims about affairs, what to do. And likewise, salatul istikhara. Person about to carry out something inside their life, 2 rak'ah of prayer. Allahumma inni as'aluka bi'ilmika wa qudratika. Allah asks you by your knowledge and your dominion and your power and the destiny that lies with you, that if this affair is good for me and my deen, then bring it quickly for me, hasten me towards it. When kana sharrani is something harmful and difficult for me in my deen and my life, then take it away from, give me something better than it. This is how a Muslim carries out a decision inside their life. And thus we find, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ حَلِيمٌ. Know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all forgiving. The forbearing one is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَعَلِيمٌ حَلِيمٌ. Allah is the all-knowing, the forbearing one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلِيمًا حَلِيمًا. Allah knows what's inside your hearts. Allah knows what's in the hearts of these people. That Allah is showing them His signs, bringing them closer to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving them the opportunity. And then if the hujjah is established, then they'll be taken as total disbelieving individuals, or they may be guided to the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For us is to be patient, to be resolute, and to continue the journey. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isbiru was-sabiru wa-rabitu wattaqullaha la'allakum tuflihun. The end of Surah Al-Imran, the 3rd chapter. Be patient. Was-sabiru, be more preserving, committed to what you want to. Wa-rabitu. Amma al-rabitu fi jihad that we find, or al-tatbiq al-arkan, holding fast to the pillars of teaching of Islam. Wattaqullah, fear Allah, la'allakum tuflihun, that you may become successful individuals. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all success inside this dunya and more so inside the akhirah. Be amongst the successful individuals, the ultimate generation that were placed upon this earth, none other than the companions of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and their leader and our master, or Sayyiduna, and our master, leader of all of the Anbiya, will open the doors of the paradise with none other than the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, who's been sent, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, sent as a mercy to the whole of the world, the whole of mankind. And the elements of that mercy is what we need to deliver and to display around us, give to the people around us.